When was the last time you played a video game with bathroom mechanics? Bathrooms are really interesting. In real life, they're arguably the most intimate part of your house aside from maybe your bedroom. The bathroom is the place where you're the most exposed. It's the place where you wash yourself, where you get ready for your day, and it might even be the only place in your house where you can get some genuine privacy. But in video games, bathrooms are kinda useless. In a lot of video games, there won't even be bathrooms in most interior locations, and if there are any bathrooms, then you can't go in them. And if you can go in them, then you can't actually use the bathroom. And if you can use the bathroom, then it's probably just a useless action that you can do for immersion. In movies and TV shows, you rarely, if ever, see characters going to the bathroom, and like in movies and TV shows, bathrooms in video games are usually irrelevant, all things considered. And that's because having your character go to the bathroom doesn't really add anything, narratively speaking. Yeah, it would be realistic if midway through a boss fight, Mario was like, "Hey Bowser, I'll be right back, I gotta go drain the lizard." But it would be kind of jarring and pointless. In most video games, you can scarf down as much food as possible and never have to take a dump. You can drink as much as you like and never have to take a leak. Plenty of video games have hunger mechanics where you need to eat food to keep yourself in good condition, but despite this, you never have the urge to actually clean out your system. However, because video game developers are insane, there have actually been some games out there that have experimented with bathroom mechanics. Probably one of the most iconic is No More Heroes, where you have to go number 2 to save your game. No More Heroes came out in the 2000s when edgy humor and toilet humor were really big, so it makes a lot of sense in the context of the game. Funnily enough, No More Heroes isn't the only game where you can save your game by going to the bathroom. Dead Rising is another game that does this. The idea of saving using a bathroom is pretty thought-provoking. Because like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, bathrooms are kind of like a safe haven. They're a place where you don't have to be bothered by anyone else. Opening up the bathroom door while someone else is in there is probably one of the worst social faux pas that you can ever do. So the bathroom is a place where you can feel comfortable, and a place like that makes perfect sense for a save game location. If you're interested in hearing more about saving in video games, you can check out this video I did. Another game with bathroom mechanics is Catherine. Catherine is a game that has two halves. The game is one part bar simulator and another part puzzle platformer. During the evening, you hang out at a bar called The Stray Sheep, where you can grab a few drinks, chat about life with some of the patrons, and just kinda vibe. And at night, Vincent is trapped in a nightmare where he has to climb a seemingly never-ending tower by pushing and pulling blocks. The bar has a bathroom where you can wash your face, and when you do this, you actually get a very brief glimpse of the boss encounter for the next night of the game in the mirror. Mirrors are an interesting topic to talk about in regards to video games, because mirrors are actually pretty tricky for video games to do. In real life, mirrors reflect light, so you can see a reflection of yourself when you look into one. In order for video games to achieve this effect, there are a number of different options, like ray tracing or just outright rendering a flipped version of the room you're in on the other side of the mirror. In any case, making this look good and natural can be really resource intensive, which can be very tough on the performance of the game. So a lot of games will take the easy way out and just not do any reflections, or just make it so all of the rooms in the game just conveniently lack mirrors. Mirrors might as well be a requirement in bathrooms. So bathrooms are interesting to look at in video games because they'll let you see how the developers handle reflections, and if they put in the extra effort to make really good looking reflections. Another thing you can do in the bathroom in Catherine is read text messages on your phone. You can text outside of the bathroom, but if you want to look at risque pictures, you're gonna have to pop a squat at the John. Text messaging isn't only for getting lewd pictures, it's also a legitimate mechanic in the game. The game gives you a set of options when typing lines of text messages, and the things you send to characters in text messages will affect your alignment, which in turn will determine the game's ending. So the bathrooms in Catherine are somewhat important in this game. Bathrooms are also somewhat important in World of Horror. In World of Horror, you play as one of a number of people who are trying to investigate the various monsters and cosmic horrors that have attacked a Japanese town. You'll look for clues, fight monsters, and try to save this place from disaster. One of the things you can do is visit your house, where you can rest and recuperate before going out to tackle the horrors of the world. You can choose to go to the bathroom, and while you can't relieve yourself, one thing you can do is take a bath. You get the choice of either taking a bath in cold water, warm water, or hot water. Cold water keeps you alert, improving your reason stat, which represents your mental state. Warm water is nice and comfortable, which makes it easier to grow, giving you a boost to your EXP, allowing you to improve yourself and learn new abilities. Hot water helps you relax and recover, improving your stamina stat, which is your physical health. You can also put some water in a bottle if you have one. Speaking of water, you can actually drink toilet water in Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid is a survival game where resources can be quite limited, so having access to some water can actually be life-saving, as going too long without drinking water can lead to your character getting thirsty, and if they get too thirsty, they can literally die of thirst. You can also use toilet water to wash yourself, clean your clothes, and clean bandages. Keeping bandages clean is super important in this game, as using dirty ones can lead to your wounds getting infected. Seeing as though this is a video about bathrooms in video games, if I don't talk about some of the more iconic bathroom moments in video games, I know I'll get a ton of comments telling me how much of a dummy I am, so let's go through a few of them. We've got the famous toilet scene in Silent Hill 2 where you can make the protagonist James stick his hand down a clogged toilet to get a wallet. This scene would be referenced in the next game in the series, Silent Hill 3. In Silent Hill 3, if you have save data from Silent Hill 2 on your memory card or system, there's a scene where the protagonist, Heather, will stick her hand down the toilet just like James, but instead of going through with it, she says forget it and looks at the camera to give us a slight fourth wall break.
Who would even think of doing something so disgusting?
Speaking of hands in toilets, in The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, there's a location known as the Stockpot Inn. The inn has a primitive toilet with a hand coming out of it. The hand is in need of some paper, probably to wipe itself after taking a number 2, which of course brings up a lot of questions like, how does a hand take a dump? Is it just a hand, or is there like more of the body that we aren't seeing here? In any case, you can give the hand a piece of paper, and it'll reward you with a piece of heart to upgrade your health. You get punished for improper bathroom etiquette in Deus Ex. You play as a man named J.C. Denton, and if you decide to take a trip to the ladies' restroom, you'll be reprimanded by one of the higher-ups at your company.
By the way, Denton, stay out of the ladies' restroom. That kind of activity embarrasses the agency more than it does you.
This even gets a callback in another game in the series, Deus Ex Human Revolution, where you can also go into the women's restroom. And like before, you will also be scolded.
Oh, and by the way, Jensen, I know you've gone through a lot of physical changes of late, but you didn't become a woman. Stay out of the ladies' restroom.
One of the more interesting gaming bathrooms is the bathroom in the creepy Spencer mansion from the Resident Evil remake. There are 3 things that make this bathroom noteworthy. One is that it's a completely optional area. A lot of locations in the mansion have some significance for progressing through the game, whether it's a key item, a piece of lore, or a passageway to get to a more crucial area. But not this bathroom. You don't need to go here at all, it's just this place tucked away in the corner of the mansion. The only things you can find here are a dagger if you're playing as Jill, or an old key if you're playing as Chris. The second noteworthy thing is that this place actually has a cutscene. In order to get one of those previously mentioned items, you'll have to unplug the bathtub drain, which leads to a cutscene where you encounter a zombie. If you're playing as Jill, she'll stomp out the zombie in the cutscene and then throw up in the toilet. If you're playing as Chris, the zombie will actually show up in the game and you'll have to either fight it or run away. I find it so weird that they decided to dedicate a whole cutscene to a fairly pointless encounter in an optional room. The third noteworthy thing is that this is the only bathroom in the entire mansion. This is a mansion with multiple bedrooms, storerooms, entertainment rooms, and yet in a place with 4 floors including a basement, there's only one place to drop a deuce. It really makes you think about how much of an afterthought bathrooms are in gaming. I'm not saying I want a restroom revolution where we have tons of games coming out with in-depth potty mechanics. I just find it interesting how a location that is pivotal to human life is fairly irrelevant in video games. I talked about some cool ones, but obviously I wasn't going to talk about every single bathroom in gaming, so let me know any interesting ones I missed in the comments. If you're interested in watching more videos like this, here's a video I did on cooking in video games. I also have a whole playlist of videos for you to check out if you're looking for something to marathon or just have something as background noise. That's all I've got to talk about for today though, so thanks for watching y'all and have a great rest of your day.